Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the support of the channel. As always, another in the long line of how can I do better videos. I got this one off the EU forum. Pat Zolino from Clan PLFU is in his Mauschen. And he is here on Himmel's Highway, Dorf, platooned with Pavel the Emperor. Up in the spawn in the northeast, and they are headed south into town. That makes sense to me. They've got a couple Mauschens. They're top tier. In a two-tier battle, there's a couple artillery. Pat Zolino has sent or put a forum post, put the replay in and asked for some help, and I thought, you know what, why not? I've done a lot of this for the NA server. Let's throw one of these out for one of you, the EU bubbas out here, and see if we can't help Pat Zolino get a little better at the game. And maybe, and just maybe, we all get a little better at the game. So chuck down in the comments other ideas and things that you saw. As always, let's get started. Pat Zolino. We'll call him Pat. It's Pat. All right, here we go. This takes a long time to develop. Now, there were several suggestions, shall we say, in the forum for Pat. Things that run the gamut from don't play because World of Tanks is a terrible game. Why are you even in the forums if it's a terrible game? Why? Anyway, some people just want to watch the world burn, don't they? Well, let's just pause it right here. Because the first thing, and this is valid, one of the first things anyway that people noted is that there's an EBR raging around. An M&E EBR, the old FL10 version. The premium one, tier 8, and he has obviously decided to YOLO in and get Artie. Coffee's nice this afternoon. He has decided to YOLO in and get Artie, and Pat and Pavel ignore it. They just, I don't know, they're not even looking. This is his camera view, now he's lit, as is a good portion of his team. He sort of moved his camera, and what is Mr. EBR doing? But he is headed on in, and neither one of them turned. All right, Pat, here's the deal, man. You said that you got tired of being hit by Artie on one of your replies to the forum post, and that is completely valid, 100%. I also do not like getting hit by Artie in slow tanks, and I would also want to get into the town. As a general rule, never pass up shots or hit points, okay? Maybe there's a situation where you're in a scout and you're trying to get to a certain place and you don't want to fire to give away your position, and you might give up that shot. But in this situation, do not give up that shot. In fact, as soon as you saw him appear on the mini-map, you were looking more or less like this. I would have shifted my view, maybe even locked the turret forward, but I think I would have actually let the turret start swinging, shift my view and go, what is going on there? And that's camera work, what I call anyway. And you want to start investigating what the heck is going on. What is this EBR up to? What's his game? Is he going to bail out and head back over to the west, or is he really going to zorch right in there and go after our artillery? And so if I do that and I move my turret this way, oh, by the way, that puts my turret towards the artillery that's over here on their cap. Might minimize some damage I take if I take a direct hit. Maybe they hit the mantlet, all that kind of good stuff. It also gets my gun start moving in the direction it needs to be. The Mauschen has a very slow turret, a very slow chassis turn rate. So you got to kind of get ahead of the game. So maybe I've already got my gun pointed, and then I say, oh wow, looks like that guy is going in, then I can start tracking this dude. If I could take the shot on the move, I would do so. If I needed to stop and move my hull and my turret, remember that's the fastest way to put the gun online, to move the turret and the hull at the same time. Not while driving forward, by the way, while stopped. If both of you spun and got your guns on, you might take this dude down. You might take this dude down, and he stops lighting things up. Hopefully it helps you with your artillery surviving. Look, I think it's funny too when Artie dies early. I would rather it be the enemy Artie, all else being equal. Okay, I'd rather have my Artie alive and helping me, all else being equal. Big missed opportunity right there, and kind of let the guys in the back down. And really, you didn't lose anything by doing that. Even if you stop for a moment, yes, the enemy artillery may have put a gun on you there, if you're able to keep moving and shooting, then that's about as hard as it's going to get, right? It's not like you have a turbo to boost. You were lit either way, right? And you're headed for the building. So if you could shoot on the move, that's great. If you had to stop and take a quick shot and then get out of there, I'm not advocating turn around and head back for the artillery. Also, you got a little bit of herd mentality going on here, right? Safety in numbers. There's a lot of targets for those 2 artillery to shoot. Odds are you might not get picked. You might not get picked. And if there's a tank on this team that can take an arty hit and shrug it off, it's one of these 2. So I don't really think the idea of getting to the buildings is valid, but the execution I think is invalid. I would have absolutely tried to take a shot on that guy. All right, so we're going to head on into town. Not a bad deployment, really. I think you're a little light out in the field. This map is strange. On EU, it's a little bit different as well from NA, but that northwest corner can be a real mess depending on who pushes the most things in there. So it looks like maybe your team is on its back foot. You do have a pretty good amount of heavy hitters going in. And did your friend actually stop? Don't know if your friend may have actually stopped back there. I didn't pay attention to whether he turned around and tried to take a shot. So here comes the Progetto 66, the autoloader. You got an Emil 2, and we're headed to this corner. We have a couple guys off to the right, and we're going to try to get into a proper scrum over here with all the heavies punching each other in the face. And it looks like the enemy team has done the right thing and sent most of their heavy hitters in here, and we're going to have a nice little scrap. So we got the old zoom coming in here. I don't think I would drive that long in sniper mode. Yeah, zoom back out, kind of look around. And another thing is just what's going on. I often will zoom out and go, what is going on over here? We got a 705. All right, you know what I'm saying? You're coming on in here. He may poke out, but you should be able to react in time. And it looks like, to me anyway, you're thinking about coming up here and starting the old side scraping action. That's actually a nice shot right there. Looked like he was trying to back out. Okay, let's talk about angling just a little bit. This is not enough, what you're doing right here. So a little bit more on the whole angling. The other thing you can do while you're reloading, this happens with the Maus, the E100, any of these boxy turrets that have a long reload. You want to put your turret in line with the hole and angle it as well. So what I'll do is I'll put the turret in line and then I'll right click to hold the turret there so that the turret's actually in line with the hole, so I have everything angled. This is a little tricky because you got some weird angles on this turret. It's a little bit different, but you really don't want to give him that flat plate while you're reloading, right? You're not going to have a shot. Look how long your reload is. So he's either going to go for the not very well angled lower plate, or maybe even right into the face of the turret if he's got a nice heat round, but you're giving him that nice straight shot. So give him some angles on the turret as well, and then a little rocking back and forth. So more angle, turret in line, rocking back and forth, and then as you start to come online, i.e. you're just about to shoot, your reload's just about done, now we can put our turret on this guy and start taking a shot. See, we're just really kind of asking him to shoot us at this point. A little bit more angle. I do like the kind of scooting back and forth, so that worked out nicely. You actually avoid any more damage, and then you thump him, and down he goes between you and your buddy. All right, that's not a bad start. We're doing okay. Looks like the enemy team's getting really aggressive, though, right here. They're getting really aggressive. So that means you and your buddy, looks like he's just finally getting into town. You know, that hurt your team a bit. I don't know what he's been doing back here, old Pavel, but he needs to be in the fight much faster than that. So we're going to push in here. We mess around a bit. And another good point somebody made, this game is about time management. You have 15 minutes to take the enemy's hit points away to win the game. If you take them all away and you still have some, you win the match, right? Or if you create the opportunity or create the conditions to cap by removing enough of their guns and hit points that they can't stop you, you win the game. Generally, though, you're trying to get rid of all their hit points before yours. In addition to that, you're trying to get rid of their hit points faster because that creates a synergy and allows you to take their hit points faster. So the faster you take their hit points, the faster you go faster. All right, that means you have more guns, you have more hit points, you have more options. I call them votes. You have more votes. Right now, you're starting to slide on the back end of that power curve. And it means you have to get something going on here. So we're futzing around. The Emil kind of pokes out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a 705, and what am I going to do? Maybe the Emil will kill them all. I don't know. Look, when he is out there taking shots, they're busy. They're looking at him. They're shooting him. Get out there and get your shot. A little late on this, and then we're still dicking around, trying to get our side scrape on. Look, side scrapes are great. It's a good tactic, provided you have the time. Go back to the time management thing I was just talking about. You only have so much time in the game. The Emil went out there, gave you an opportunity, took a few hits, got some hit points, and we still haven't taken a shot because we want to get that perfect angle going on. Well, sometimes we just need to poke the nose out there and start thumping these dudes. The 705 is coming at us. Okay, 705 is pretty well angled right there. I might not have gone after him. There's a couple comments on the forum there talking about, it was a bad shot or a rush shot or whatever. It's the shot you had, so you took it. But I think what I would have done is start trying to work on the 53 TP right here, or 50 TP. And let's try to get rid of that guy. He's softer. So we come in here. This was not a bad idea. I don't know. I would do the same thing with the turret. I would angle the turret. I'm not really sure why you're pointing the turret down. You're not reloaded. There we go. Yeah, I guess we were. Somebody mentioned that as well. Maybe trying to guard the little hatch with the gun. I see people do this a lot. It is a very high-level skill. It can sometimes save you from shots, especially in face-hugging situations. In this situation, I wasn't worried about it. You can kind of tell where his gun was aimed. He wasn't really paying any attention to that. Now we're flanked, though. So go back to the timing thing I talked about only having so much time in this game. And you've run out of time in this fight. All your buddies are dead. And we've only done 35 damage. All right, we have 1 kill, 35 damage. We have some assists, but all of our friends are dead. So this is a great point at which to look at this match and go, well, shit. The question is, how can I do better? Well, you needed to get into the fight and get pounding these guys much quicker than you did. You didn't have time to be as careful as you wanted to. If they were all sitting on corners over there, like sometimes happens, and they were side scraping and hanging out in these buildings over here, in this area right here, then yeah, you've got all kinds of time to maneuver around, side scrape and whatnot. The other problem you have is you're losing the field. That's going to press you for time as well. So your team is losing in every direction, and now it's time to get something done. So 50 TP needs to be taken out. You've been flanked. What I would have done right here, because I have Pavel, my teammate, and an Emil, I just said push. You two got to go around the corner and start punching faces. So when you get surrounded like this, the best plan, if you can do it, is to pick a direction and go. And since these two things don't turn around very well, I think you just come barreling around that corner. There's Artie, there's a couple tanks over there, I got it. But desperate times require desperate measures. If we turn around and we face two different ways, it's just a losing fight. This way we can start taking the fight to them. See, Pavel goes around, at least he tries to. Then he's like, oh, I'm trying to bait a shot, I don't know. Artillery's coming in, he gets hit pretty hard. And here's the thing, had you both gone around, you could have shared some of those hit points. That 50 TP would be dead. Probably IS-3A on the way out. These two goobers would have had to come down the road to chase you. Once you kill those two, you can turn around and come after these guys. What we've done is we've split our forces. Try not to goober up our friends like that right there. Kind of pushing the poor Emil into the damage. Back out. There we go. Come on here. Kind of unlucky. That wasn't a really great side scrape on his part. He's sort of flat plating the pike nose for you. The IS-3 is not an amazing side scraper. Looks like you got a little right or maybe into the tracks or something there. Bit unlucky. And then just push on in. So the same thing for me, at least at this point, applies. Poor Pavel has not been able to kill the 50 TP over there. That hurts you a bit as well. Just go in and get rid of this IS-3. Looks like that's what you're doing. Another thing I'll do here, and unfortunately you're not angling again, is the same thing I was talking about. I'm going to get my zoom out to work. Oh, what the heck? Doesn't want to work. There we go. As I come in there, I'm going to come in with an angle with my turret locked forward and try to get him to shoot at my angled tank. All right? You're giving him more or less a straight-on view right here. They're just both aiming straight into your lower plate. Look at all those shots in your lower plate. I mean, that's a great... That's a visual representation of not angling right, that they're able to get in there that much. And it looks like you're trying to block that hatch up there, which I don't really see them aiming at. Okay, I mean, I know they're not aiming at it because of all the holes that you've got in the lower plate down here. There's another one added to the list. Not a bad shot there. All right, immediately then on this, either back up and angle this way or push in left and get an angle. You might even think about trying to help Mr. Emil too by blocking any shots that might be coming his way right there. But he actually shoots at you anyway, the A phase does. And we're dead. This game isn't exactly completely lost right here. I think, really, if you and your platoon mate had been a little bit more aggressive earlier, especially the platoon mate with his lagging behind, and then worked as a team pushing one of the flanks probably forward, like I said, because getting you turned around would have been a bit problematic. You might have been able to clean up some more hit points out of the city and giving your team a bit of a chance right here. All right, a bit of a chance, but it goes south pretty quickly from here. They've got 9,000 hit points. You've got 4,000. Once again, back reference to the time and hit points calculation that this game is. The snowball effect is definitely starting to roll here. They have a few more guns. They have twice as many hit points, and it's just going to be very difficult for your team to pull this off, especially since their positioning right now is not great, and you're about to lose everybody in the town anyway because they've got plenty of hit points to take you guys out in here. The 705 hasn't even made his appearance yet, and he's about to. It was a good thing how long he kept himself out of the fight. Really, had that 705 been more aggressive, he is still alive, yeah. Really, had that 705 been more aggressive, you guys might have been in much more trouble much earlier. And he is sort of doing the mirror image of what I'm talking about you guys are doing on his side, not pushing a huge advantage and not really being anywhere near where he needs to be. Why he hasn't come around and killed the other Malshin or whatever is difficult to understand. And there you go. I hope some of those pointers will help you out right there. Don't pass up shots. Work on the angling on the Malshin. Think a little bit about, how much time you really have. And it's fine to go to positions and set up in advantageous ways like side scraping in a Malshin. But the purple team, red team, however you have it set up, has a vote. And when they vote differently than you expected, you have to react to that. You have to react. You can't stubbornly go, well, I'm just going to set up my side scrape, because that's what I do. You have to react to what they're doing. And if they start making a bad situation, then sometimes it's time to roll the dice and push at them. It may surprise them, catch them off guard, knock down a couple of their tanks, keep working together, and you might be able to come out of this thing with your two Malshins intact and potentially get back over there and probably get rained on by the Arty as you move out to the open. But it would have been a lot better than having two flaming wrecks of Malshins right there. All right, man, there you go. That's what I've got. I hope it helped. Everybody else, pile in the comments if you got any other suggestions for Pat on how to make this one a little bit better. As with always on these, I am not necessarily saying if you did X, Y, or Z, you would absolutely win this game. The question is, how do I do better? And sometimes better is just another shot, another 2 shots, another kill, another 2 kills. And sometimes, if you continue to do those things, all of a sudden you've won. That's all I've got. Take it easy. See ya.